Hey everybody, welcome back once again. Another edition of MADcast coming from the internet to your ear holes. I am one of your hosts, Matt. With me today also is my co-chair, Dave.
What's going on?
What's going on today? And as always, third chair, Nikolai. How you doing over there?
I'm doing well.
Hot ass room.
Really more fourth chair.
Fourth. Who would be our third then?
Well,
there's only 3 people. Go fuck yourself, fourth chair.
no, third is like
It's a full room.
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Right in the beginning. Like, is there a witch?
It's unbelievable. That is the dulcet tones of Moonbase Alpha has some new backdoor to the left neighbors, and they are a rowdy bunch.
They like to party.
Yeah.
The Beastie Boys fought for their right, and they are doing their service. But yeah, so if you hear some cackling witch laughter occasionally,
oh my God,
you know why.
the sound of...
I'm way too loud. Alright, there I am. I'm perfect. God, I'm so good at this.
Have you heard me yet? Am I okay?
Yeah, you're perfect.
Okay.
You're always good, baby doll.
I know.
Baby doll. The sound of grease balls enjoying themselves.
You're right.
They're Italian, and I'm Italian. But that,
So
but that was still racist.
So it's okay.
That was still racist. Hey, it's 80-something degrees out today. We turned greasy.
Yeah.
It is hot.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
Oh, wink. I'm gross right now.
I love that. So last week we had a really in-depth conversation. Not really in-depth, but we broke off the tip of the iceberg for our feelings on political correctness.
Yeah, we couldn't fit everything we wanted to say into an hour. It would take days.
Yeah, not days. We'd probably run out of gas at hour 2.
Yeah. An hour
Weeks.
15.
Yeah,
Weeks.
right?
Yeah.
Another 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But it was going to be a lot more. I don't know if you guys remember how much we spoke about Genghis Khan, and we really went.
We go straight direction.
I cut 3 to 4 minutes of that out of the end.
Well, we can agree it's pretty relevant.
Let's go back to Genghis Khan.
Yeah. Any conversation about PC.
There's a couple of comments about the Genghis Khan, like just in general. Like we had a couple of people contribute some facts, and I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I'm glad you tried. I guess I should have cut some of it, but I'm glad I did. It did not fit. But speaking of the comments.
Mm-hmm.
There is one thing that stood out to me that Matt actually brought to me. I don't know if you remember the...
Yes.
It's been deleted since.
It's been deleted since. I cannot find the quote. It was Richard something. Richard, fake last name. Some stupid bullshit internet thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he said it was... not pretty insane. He said something like, really, you guys are going to bleep out the N-word but leave in faggot?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that seem a little biased or insensitive? I think was the term he used, insensitive.
Hypocritical. The term he used was hypocritical. And that being said, at first I'd like to say you're correct. It is hypocritical.
It is. Absolutely.
It is absolutely hypocritical to censor anything in that conversation because the overall message was that we should be able to use whatever language we want to be able to use. It's the beauty of free thought.
Yeah, I think so. That ideal. Sure.
It is the beauty of free thought, but at the same time, I feel like what we said could have been said. Like, we had the conversation in those tones, and that's fine. But not everybody listening wants to hear those words. Not everybody listening. We don't know how everybody listening wants to feel about those words. So we just really weren't looking to offend anybody. But at the same time, and this is another point that I brought up to Nikolai, to that commenter, who, I will say this, comedian Tom Segura said it best in a bit he was doing about the word midget.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said to him after a show, you can't say midget.
It is the equivalent of saying the
It's
N-word.
the equivalent of saying the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, no, it's not. You know how I know it's not? Is because if you're having an argument about 2 words and you won't even say about which word is worse, and you won't even say one of the words, that's the worst word.
Yeah, there's no conversation to be had.
Well said, yeah.
You have your answer.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Like, we know, like,
yeah.
Of course, we were never meant to make anybody who was gay, feel bad by using the word faggot. We were talking about it in...
We are friends with Seich.
Yeah.
He's an established
homosexual man.
out of the closet,
Very gay man.
openly gay man, you know? And we applaud him for living his life the way that everybody should be able to live their life as comfortably and the way they'd like to.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that being said... What do you fucking... Want to talk about this? I didn't say it last week.
You had to sneak one in.
God damn. Fucking...
You're gonna spit in my mouth.
Alright, so I did this thing. I don't know why. It is so weird. It's so weird. Mm-hmm. I just one day walk up to... Hey now. And I go, oh. Like, I pretended I was offended. I was like, you come in here? You fucking spit in my mouth? And I'm like, act like really offended. She's like, what? I was like, you call me the N-word? You kidding? Like, I pretending it's super mad. But she's like, this is weird. This is such odd behavior. It's such a...
It's true.
Yeah.
And now he'll say it.
I do it all the time. All the time.
Like if they bump into each other.
What do you want for dinner? Mm-hmm. What, are you going to spit in my food? Call me the N-word?
It's sort of like a taxi driver. You talking to me?
Yeah, not really, but...
No, okay.
Because I'm not saying it to a mirror. Nor shaving a mullet, a mohawk into my head.
You could, though.
I could shave a mohawk in my head?
Yeah.
I was one of those little kids who tried to have a mohawk.
Did you?
But my dad did that mohawk where he cut the back off. He didn't do the whole head.
Right.
So, and then he also made it just a little too wide. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a mohawk as much as it was just like...
A reverse mullet.
Yeah. It's just really bad. It's stupid looking.
You've had some bad hair.
Oh, God, my hair. That's why I just keep it short.
Yeah.
Short and forward. Because it's garbage.
Exactly. Who are we kidding?
All right. So, you know what I was thinking about the other day? Mm-hmm. I don't know why this story came to mind, but do you remember the first time you got drunk?
I do. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was there.
No, not the first time. The first time I was by myself. First time with friends.
Was the first time when you drank like a whole glass?
Yeah.
Okay, what was that?
So like when I was probably like 12 or something. My mom like ran out for like maybe, she was going around the block. It was like maybe 10 minutes.
Okay.
And I had the idea that I was going to go take a bottle of gin and pour like one of those red Dixie cups, and just fill it to the top with gin, and so I thought I'll chug it before she gets back and see what happens, and I didn't give it a lot of thought, I don't think I had any idea what was going to happen.
So you filled the gin to the top of that glass.
Yeah,
full Dixie cup. You had the physical ability to drink all of it, just pound it.
You know what's surprising is I drank the whole thing, and I don't remember it being like difficult to drink. Like I remember it being really, this could just be like my memory is weird and I'm not remembering correctly, but I remember it being like super smooth and just like it went down like nothing. And I could almost not even tell it was something different than something normal I would drink. And then I didn't...
Man, wouldn't it be funny if it was water?
It's all this time.
You just, it was just placebo effect.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so drunk.
I definitely remember when I first started drinking, the first few times you start drinking, you act a little drunk at first. Because you don't know exactly what you're doing.
I was actually the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah, so I drank it.
Okay.
The whole thing. I didn't really feel anything.
Certainly not right away.
Yeah,
you didn't even feel any burn in your throat? You don't remember feeling like the fire?
I just don't remember it.
Okay.
I must have. It's just not possible. Especially because I was such a pussy with alcohol later on. I would take me forever to take a shot, and I was just a little bitch. To this day, really, like I don't drink anymore. But if I did, I would still be a little bitch about it. But yeah, so I don't remember that, and so I drank it. I didn't really feel. I felt dizzy a little bit, but nothing that was like too noticeable. And my mom got home, and I'm thinking like I'm acting fine. She won't be able to tell. And then all of a sudden, I just start vomiting all over myself without getting up.
Oh my god! So wait, where are you sitting?
I'm on the couch. I'm like laid out. I think my mom could tell something's a little bit off.
Uh-huh.
And
like you drank a entire glass of gin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I had the gin bottle out next to me, so I think she put two and two together.
Did you?
No,
do you
not
remember
really.
putting the bottle away?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if I like refilled it or anything, but I certainly hid my, covered my tracks.
Okay. Where do you remember putting the cup?
I think I just threw it out. I don't
really.
Think, yeah.
You were that brazen. You put it in the top of the garbage.
Probably. I was probably a little more clever than that, and like pushed it down a little. Okay. But I don't remember much about the whole situation. I mean, the whole memory is foggy, and honestly, memories from like that age are always like I don't have many memories.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I just I just threw up all. I was sitting on the couch. I just started throwing up all over myself. I don't move. I remember thinking it's strange I'm not moving. Like, why didn't I get up to go throw up? And then I guess I was too drunk, and I just started throwing up all over myself, and
oof.
Yeah.
So did you tell your mom that you drank something?
I must have told her like right after that, like why or something, but I really don't know.
Okay. Now is it flashes for the rest of the night? Like, do you remember going to bed? Do you go in the
I don't
shower?
remember anything else after that.
Okay. That makes
not because
sense.
I blacked out. I don't think.
Okay.
Although I could have.
Should have
even.
For all intents and purposes.
You would think. I mean, that's a lot of gin.
Yeah.
It's a lot of gin.
Probably.
Right. So it's possible I did black out.
Uh-huh.
But I don't remember anything else about that. Like, I remember I threw up. It was fine. Told my mom. And, like, the day went on as normal. Like, I was punished, but I was okay. Which,
wow.
I'm sure is, like, a false memory.
Kind of, yeah. I would imagine
I'm sure it was worse than that.
Anger or some level of frustration.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 12 years
old.
So,
I guess what I was confusing may have been when we were 13.
Uh-huh.
We might be able to do this with math because the movie we were going to go see was Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. The Two Towers, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of that. So that means it was 2002, I believe, because I'm pretty sure or 2003.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't actually matter. So that's the age we were. We were too young to be drinking alcohol. But we used to hang out at our good friend Jim's. Mm-hmm. Captain Apathy is the RLFers know him as. Mm-hmm. We would hang out at our buddy Jim's house, and we were known for drinking his parents' liquor from the top of the refrigerator and putting water back in the liquor bottles
for years.
So much so that towards the end of college, one night, Jim's parents were having a few cocktails. Mm-hmm. Jim came home from, I think he had just gotten home from being in the Marine Corps, and they were like, hey, can you go back out and pick us up a case of beer and 2 bottles of rum? Because we just drank almost all of the liquor in our house and found out that it's water. And he was like, absolutely, I'll be right back.
You'd think at some point he would have changed him out.
Right? He just never thought about it, I guess.
Because this is going back to like sophomore in high school.
This is going back to middle school.
Middle school, okay, yeah.
This is going back to middle school, because what Jim and I would do is we'd fill up a shot glass and slowly drink that as if we were like cool, sophisticated kids, guys, grown men putting hair on our chests.
Right.
So we wanted to include you in. We were going to be going to actually see Lord of the Rings that night. Mm-hmm. We were like, this will be great. We'll have a few drinks before we go see the movie. It'll make the movie that much better because we're so fucking cool.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dave, you were really not into the idea of drinking. Mm-hmm. I remember you being actually nervous that we were doing it in the first place.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You were so kind of taken by the idea of of me and Jim just openly drinking alcohol.
Right.
Because it was illegal, or it was like something you're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course we offered, you said you would do it. And then I remember you taking it and putting it to your lips and then putting it back down and then wrestling with yourself and the idea of drinking the alcohol for, I think it was a shot of whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably did that for maybe 2 hours.
Mm-hmm. Sounds about right.
I remember us having an open discussion about the pros and cons of you taking the shot.
Mm-hmm.
And whether or not you should do it or should not do it.
Vaguely familiar.
Okay.
That's vaguely familiar.
Does any of this...
Yeah.
And of course, the entire time, I am not exaggerating. I'm trying to paint a mental picture. You have got a small shot of whiskey that you are, every 10 to 15 minutes or so, put into your lips. No, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it.
Right.
To the point that Jim and I are completely done with it.
Uh-huh.
And
frustrating, I'd imagine.
We kind of walk away, and that's when you decide, all right, and you rip the shot.
Uh-huh.
And then you pull 180 on us, which I think is going to really prove from an early age who you are.
Right.
Especially with your first story and this one here. Because you pull the 180 on us, you then lock us out of the house with your cunning genius move of saying, let's go have a catch now. When we walked out of the house, you slammed the door, locked it, and proceeded to rip 12 more shots of whiskey.
What?
In a row.
Jesus.
Jim eventually got in through one of the windows.
Uh-huh.
And I think, the side room... You've never heard this story?
I didn't know it was 12.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a lot.
I don't remember.
It was insane. Jim, I remember because you run to the back door and you locked it. God, this is so vivid now. This is what we used to do. And Jim, he's running through the fence and you cut through the house and you get to the back door way faster than he does. And then I remember you go into a couple of windows, but you not knowing how to lock the window.
Right.
But they also not being big enough for him to get through. And then he ends up going to one of the side and I help him up into the window. And at this point, you've gotten yourself into the bathroom and you're doing shots in the bathroom. And it might be, I think I'm exaggerating with 12. Maybe it's 7 or 8.
Okay.
But we also learned something else about you this night, which was so weird, man. That you sucked at peeing in the toilet bowl.
To this day.
And you would often miss and urinate on the floor and then not clean up after yourself. Which is such an odd thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever encountered that.
Could that be attributed to drinking?
Well, I do it normally anyway.
That night, it was.
Okay.
That's exactly... And nobody even thought twice about it. I was like, that's gross. He's super drunk.
Okay.
So I remember you are now super drunk. We've gotten the whiskey away from you because we get into the bathroom eventually.
You were able to outwit me.
And
Outfox
that or
me,
you
guys.
just unlocked the door eventually.
Could be, yeah.
Because I think you were just getting sick from doing so many shots.
Right.
And then I remember our friend Sean's mom comes and picks us up.
Yeah.
And she's in the minivan and you fucking reek like alcohol and pee. and you're nauseous. Do you remember?
I remember this. I remember being
ahead,
super nauseous.
Please take us through this ride.
So, yeah.
This is geographically a 10-minute drive.
Yeah, this is nothing. This is quick. But I am so nauseous. I have to throw up, but I know I have to make it to the theater and wait for her to not, so she doesn't see me, obviously. And so it's just it's like this internal struggle the whole way. And I make it, and I give her 5 seconds. I mean, she's basically pulling off. I'm running to the trash can at the theater, and I'm puking in the theater trash can outside.
Me and Jim turn to her and go, he has been feeling good all day.
Yeah.
Got her.
She's like, now that we're adults, there's no way.
Of course not.
There's absolutely...
Just the smell alone. I mean,
of
course I would have reached it alcohol. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
But she picked us up with her kid in the car.
Really?
No.
Sean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, he couldn't have been doing it, so I guess...
Yeah.
It's not really my problem.
Right.
You know?
Right.
He hangs out with them, but he's not, doing this shit with them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. It's not... You know what the worst part is, too, is, I was so excited for Lord of the Rings 2. And I
And then what happened in the movie? Do you remember?
I had to leave a few times to throw up. I don't think I caught much of it. I was in and out.
I remember you leaving at least 3 to 4 times to go throw up. And one of the times you threw up at the little garbage can right in the theater.
Right.
So everyone got to hear you lose it. And then by the end, I'm pretty sure you just called it quits and sat in the lobby.
It's possible.
For the last little bit.
Yeah.
But you've always been the type of guy, and I think this story will tell that those 2 stories show that you've always been the type of guy to dive all in.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're doing, you're going to dive all in.
Yeah.
Especially if it's something that is going to release some endorphins and make you happy.
Yeah. If it's something that gets me high, I can't resist.
You are all fucking about it.
Yeah. I don't even like drinking, and I don't even think I liked it then.
Since that point, and I want to make this statement as well. Since that point, I can think of 5 more times of you ever being drunk in the rest of your life.
Yeah,
maybe 5.
I can think of, I'm sure there was more, but there is like 5 where it was a real problem.
Can you,
if you don't mind, I can remember recounting one, or at least the first time I saw you experience alcohol was at Gabe M's party.
Yeah, that's the one I'm picking up after that.
Oh man, that
that was bad.
That one was a rough one.
That was a rough one. Thank God I didn't make a fool of myself. Otherwise, it would have been doubly worse.
You can't kick me out.
So briefly.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is
Tarantino is for it.
Yes. This is sophomore year in high school.
Yeah. So those stories took place at the end of middle school. Now we're a couple years ahead of time. It's 10th grade. In that time, before this party, you had tried some other stuff, right?
I think so.
You'd probably tried.
I definitely smoked pot.
Okay.
I would have. Yeah. I mean, definitely.
But this is another shining moment that needs to be.
Yeah, this was pivotal. Yes. Pivotal. Yeah.
Everyone knows, like, our opinions. You don't even really much. I mean, not much. You don't smoke anymore.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
Yeah.
No,
but either way, like,
even if I use drugs today, which I don't, like, just because
I can't.
Pot
wouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, pot wouldn't be one of them. I hate pot. It makes me feel absolutely terrible. Alcohol too.
Well, yes, alcohol indeed. Because of this night, sophomore year, very popular student at our school, Gabe M, decides to throw a party. And this is a kick-ass party. This is like a legit. There are bouncers.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were graduated kids who had shown up to the party to bounce.
Yeah.
Just like to supervise the party. I remember that being like a thing. I was not there. Not invited. Not cool enough.
There was not. Was there a keg? I don't remember there being a keg.
Wasn't there?
Oh, you were. Oh, okay.
Just said it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
Don't know.
I don't believe there was a keg, but they did bring a lot of beer. There was a lot of beer. I went to the party with Mike O.
Okay.
And you. We left from my house and we walked there. And then when we got to the party, I remember we like parted ways. I think I was like gonna do my rounds because I was such a popular kid now.
Right.
You're so darn cool. Yeah. At this point in your high school career, you were on the football team.
I was.
You were on the football team, and you were past the guy who'd give out gum in the hallways.
Yes, I was.
Cool guy.
Do you remember who you went to that party with? Because I do remember.
Well, it was Mike Owen.
Wait, wasn't there somebody else?
No, I think it was just us 3.
What about Josh M?
No,
we met him there.
Got it.
Yeah.
We met him there. He was already there. I think he helped him set up.
He was one of the people who stayed with me after, I think, though, right?
Yes,
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, he was.
He was.
Because I think he met my dad.
Yeah.
Not to give away the end.
Come on. We're Tarantino. We're coming at it from both sides.
Right.
We're slowly. So we separate. I make my rounds at the party, you know. And,
How drunk am I at this point?
Let everybody know. Not very.
Okay.
I think we had like a couple beers at my house.
Right.
And then when we got there, you grabbed a beer immediately.
Okay.
But from what I heard, beers became bottles of liquor.
Right.
I remember being recounted that you were just drinking from the bottle of liquor that everybody was doing shots from.
Mm-hmm. I think I thought that would make me cool, and I think I was right.
It was cool. For like
Just like
2 minutes, everybody was like, "Oh wow, that guy can hold his liquor." Oh no! Oh,
it's a real problem now.
We have an issue. So in a rather small amount of time, too.
Right.
We were not at the party long.
Right.
Maybe 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I find Mike O, and he has a drink, and I have a drink, and we're chit-chatting. And then we both go outside and see Josh and you.
Mm-hmm.
And you are blitzed. And the bouncers are attempting to remove you from the premises.
Mm-hmm. Were they being nice about it?
They were not.
No,
they were not.
How unkind were they being about it?
They were just generally dragging him as he.
Mm-hmm.
He was a bigger kid. He tried to resist, but it was not. Your balance wasn't there. And your coordinate, like they just had you like by the scruff in the back. They were kind of goon-handing you, to be honest.
Gotcha.
And they escorted you outside of the fence.
Right.
Because the backyard was fenced in completely, but they had a driveway facing out onto a side street, which then went around to the front lawn.
Mm-hmm.
So you were escorted from the premises, and then immediately demanded to be led back in, citing how you knew Gay Ben. And then...
Like, as if everybody in the house didn't.
You can't do this to me. How dare you?
You don't know who I am.
Slamming on the fence, but like very meekly, like very.
He was like a season 5 walker.
Was I like careful? Was I careful enough to know like I'm gonna get my ass kicked, so I gotta play it?
You were kind of. I feel like in the moment you were way too drunk, but you were trying to play it funny.
Okay.
You were being sarcastic. You were being a sarcastic dick, but a drunk sarcastic dick.
Okay.
So it could seem sincere.
Right.
I don't feel like it was sincere. Because you were talking about how you were going to mess them all up. And you weren't going to do that.
I don't think so, no.
But when they kicked you out, they closed the gate behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I wasn't going to be the guy who's like, oh, can I get out with that guy? He's totally the guy who I came with.
You didn't have enough credibility for that.
You sold him out? You were just
no.
Whoa, boy, look at
I was
that
like,
guy.
I'm going to go around the front and check on him.
Okay, smart.
I'm going to go around the front. That way I don't associate myself.
Right.
I can still gain re-entry if need be.
Right. You don't make a scene.
But I don't make a scene.
You know, like, let me through. That guy.
That's my friend! So,
like, what?
Josh M went out with you because he was clearly the mom at that moment.
Right.
Me and Mike O went around the front of the house. By the time we got there, you had moved on from the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And you were now sprawled out on the grass.
Mm-hmm.
And I do remember you taking tufts of the grass and putting it into your mouth.
Why would you do that? Do you have any recollection here?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I don't know.
You were telling us that you were on the ground and grabbing the grass because if you wouldn't, you would float off into space.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that, we've all been there. We've all been there. I've been there. You know I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
I've been places.
It just makes it doubly bad that this was such a public,
Display.
Humiliation. And
do you remember there being any backlash?
I remember people talking to me about it. I don't remember anyone ever, making fun of me for it.
But they were like, "Oh, that was awesome," or
no.
They're like, oh, that
like,
happened.
hey, are you all right?
Yeah, more like that.
Okay.
Like, oh, you got your stomach pumped.
Do you need someone to talk to?
So what happens next? You're eating grapes.
When do they leave? Like, when does the party leave?
The party is...
After that?
The party is broken up almost instantly after that.
Because of me?
Not because of you.
Okay.
But in general, a lot of people were getting drunk. It was getting later on in the night. We arrived to the party late anyway.
Okay.
Because we wanted to make a late entrance, of course.
Of course. We
You're
didn't want to be the young cool
fucking
guys.
Because we're so fucking cool.
Right.
And I think it was just a kind of combination of the fact that it was late. Everybody was making a lot of noise. Kids were super drunk. You weren't the only drunk person there.
Just the drunkest, I'd imagine, or most belligerent.
Most belligerent.
No.
I'll give you that. Well, you definitely took home that Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think there was also the consideration of that guy is way too drunk out front. He's going to cause like a
problem. See, that's what I don't think I ever really knew how much of a role I played in like I feel bad for I fucked up Gabe's party and
not really. It was going to get broken up.
Okay.
I mean, come on.
All right.
Also, it was like 13 or 14 years ago.
Yeah.
True.
We're okay now.
I haven't thought about this in years.
Yeah.
This is just going to be you like, oh my god, I'm going to make so many phone calls.
So, I'm not sure who it was. I guess it was Josh who got in contact with your...
Yeah, you probably used your cell
Yes.
phone. At
Yeah.
this point, I remember you definitely had a cell phone.
I would think.
Because you're a rich kid.
Yeah.
So,
And,
you had a cell
I wouldn't say
phone.
rich kid. I mean, I was...
You had a brand name skateboard. Just because you liked...
I was an only child.
you know what? That's very true.
And I was spoiled.
Yes.
Yeah.
So...
It's probably not unrelated to my drug problems, but...
I was the youngest of three, and I lived in a closet.
Yes.
And you were...
And you had much, much older siblings, so
Yeah,
your parents were done.
Outright change of life. Uh-oh. God, we had a lot... I have one sibling.
Mm-hmm.
We were both very planned and nurtured.
Right.
Overly so.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking if it feels good to be a mistake, no.
No. What I'm just saying is we've got like a pretty wide dynamic.
We do. We have a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
I probably have the most emotionally screwed up at least one parent. I think that's fair to say.
Maybe. I mean, we don't need to have this conversation.
No.
But either way, your Josh M contacted your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad arrived.
Right.
And then from there, we assumed that the party would be broken up.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Mike O left. Josh M stayed with you because he was waiting for your dad to make sure you were all right. And we knew you were going to be all right, but we also thought cops are coming.
Yeah, get out.
Let's make our exit.
Sure.
So do you want to take us from there? Do you remember?
Well, so the next thing that happens in my memory is waking up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really know what had happened. And this is sort of embarrassing, but I'm really fuzzy.
And erect.
No, well, thank God I wasn't.
Oh.
Because that's another part of it. But I just start sobbing uncontrollably.
That makes perfect sense, though.
It does?
Absolutely.
Because of the humiliation or just because of the
fuck
actual...
yeah. Wait, you... Alright, so the last thing you probably remember, you were surrounded by familiar faces, but not friends.
No.
And then you are now in a hospital.
Yeah.
Naked.
Right.
With post-stomach pumping.
Right.
You were feeling pretty fucking embarrassed.
Yeah, my parents were right there, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think I had realized yet the nature of the catheter that was in me at that point.
Oh, man.
And the pain I was about to be in for. Because that was...
oh
my God.
That was some of the worst pain you've ever felt before, right?
Yeah, that was... it's funny, too, because that was 5 seconds. Like I wake up, they come over, ask me why I'm crying. My mom says, he's a little pussy. No,
Wait,
not really.
Oh my God. I was like, no,
not
fucking
really.
way.
Not really, but that's why, and then so they go and take the catheter out, and it was by far, it's seared into my memory that 3 seconds is just the worst pain I've ever felt.
Oh.
you know, and we talked about pain here, and that, like, just for one moment of pain, that was just, like, next level.
Just the evacuation of that tube from your penis.
It's just, like, scratching everything.
Ah!
Yeah. Ugh, it was bad.
Did it feel as if it couldn't have possibly fit where it fit?
Yeah, and it also felt like it just kept going. Like, they were just like, you know, those clowns. Yeah, like with the, like the clowns pull the stuff out of their mouth. Uh-huh. You know, it was sort of like one of those. Like just going on and on. And it was rough.
So,
but overall worth it.
You would think that this would make you want to quit drinking or doing anything of that real nature.
Well, I don't think I continued to drink much after that.
No, but what I do think you definitely picked... I remember you outright picked up smoking pot.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Famously so. And you were living loud about it, too. I remember you, like...
I loved it.
You did not advertise that you did it.
Like, I hung out with a kid who definitely advertised.
Yeah, you wore the same Tool t-shirt every single day.
Yeah, and talked like a pothead. What's a pothead voice? I can't do it.
Hey, man.
Yeah. That's it.
No, I'm just saying, there's another way to think about it, man.
Right.
Like
everything,
but a little bit more high pitched because we're talking about younger.
Dark Side of the Moon.
Right.
Backwards, man.
Right.
Like his parents smoked pot.
At the lion's roar.
His parents smoked pot, and then he just thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And
now his father is my mechanic.
Really?
Yes.
I'm glad he's still doing it. He's alive.
Yeah, I assume. Don't really talk about it.
But yeah, you started smoking pot.
Yeah.
And you know, it was normal high school age pot smoking in the back of sumps, you know, at night and like behind somebody's car.
Right.
If you somehow had a friend with a car. Mm-hmm. That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever smoked weed. Mm-hmm. We were coming home from high school. So Matt and I are friends, so this is 10th grade, around the same age, maybe before, or within the same year of the party we were just talking about. And we were all going to play basketball at Matt's house because his neighbor had a basketball hoop that we would lower so we could all dunk because we're short little white kids. But it
was pretty low.
But it was so much fun, you know, and it was probably like 6 feet. I don't want to tell myself. Uh-huh. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I remember we were in Matt's room, and Matt's room has a door that leads directly to his backyard.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
I always envied that door to the backyard.
That would have been
incredible.
The death of you.
Oh, God.
I
may do with windows, but
it's
nothing compared to that.
So, you and I are on the porch, or the little stoop in the back door, and you have jerry-rigged from a pen and a... the film
canister.
Canister.
Yeah. It was
a pipe.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And we're in the backyard there, and you and I are smoking out of this little thing. And I remember feeling the smoke hit my lungs for the first time, and I had smoked cigarettes like for 2 days in 8th grade because I thought I was cool. And it totaled to probably like 3 or 4 cigarettes, but I remember it hitting the back of my throat and instantly coughing, not being able to handle it in any way at all. Hating the taste, thinking it was really gross.
It is gross.
I thought it was so disgusting. So then I took 3 or 4 more hits.
Oh, that's terrible.
Well, in your mind, you were like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna feel it."
Also, because there's that stupid machismo thing where you take a hit, I take a hit. Like, I'm not here to not take a hit.
Right.
Like we love the YouTube show Hot Ones. At the end of every episode, he puts the little dab on the last hot wing, and every single person does the same thing and adds more hot sauce to it because he says, "Oh, you don't have to do it," but everyone gets peer pressured into doing it.
I don't know what that is, but I understand that.
Oh, really? Right.
No.
It's pretty great. Well, I'll force you to watch one episode, and you'll hate it. You will hate it.
Be against my will.
It is so mainstream. You're gonna fucking hate it.
Yeah, that sounds bad. But how much did I hound you to like smoke pot before that? Like bad?
Oh, man, we probably should have brought that up.
Like, I remember like pushing.
I was pretty straight edge back then.
Yeah,
but I remember there wasn't any sport that was going on at the time that I was doing because I remember being terrified of a drug test, and that actually
Did you ever get drug tested?
Of course not. Well, for sports?
Yeah.
I think so. I think we took pee tests, right?
I don't think.
No, I don't think you did.
I remember peeing in a cup.
I don't think we ever peed in the cup.
I don't know. Anyway, I remember getting our balls grabbed.
Oh, we definitely got our balls grabbed.
Yeah,
it's weird that that's the thing.
For hernia.
Yeah.
By some homeless dude. I don't know what that's
about. No, he had a coat. A nice
There's
clean
no
white
way
coat.
we can ask for our students' urine. Let's grab their testicles.
Have them cough.
And make them cough.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
For what, testicle cancer or something?
No, to check that you don't have a hernia, I believe. That's
what gotcha.
Anyway, yeah, that was weird. Anyway, that we were molested. What? It's all coming back to me.
Everyone was molested.
So, I was pretty straight edge back then.
Yeah.
Despite my affection for drinking, especially at such a young age, I thought everything else was kind of like past the line and unacceptable.
Yeah. So we switched roles a little.
Yeah.
From when you were drinking, I thought that was so crazy.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and then now you were on the other side, and you're like, Def Leppard, bro.
I never liked Def Leppard.
No, you didn't.
Don't
like
besmirch my name.
You were like, The Doors, bro.
The Doors. Which
you loved The Doors.
I still liked The Doors, but I acknowledge The Doors are terrible now.
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, good, because they're garbage.
No,
they're terrible.
Come on,
Awful
baby.
music.
Light my fire.
People are saying it's great. Peace Frogs. Is that the name?
I have no idea.
Peace Frogs, I think.
So, you definitely had to peer pressure me. But I do remember the icing on the cake. What made me finally say yes was that you said if you're if you don't smoke regularly and you do get tested, if you've only smoked once, it'll be out of your system in a couple days.
Yeah.
And I was like, which is true.
Yep.
But we didn't know that back then. We were told that if you touch marijuana, it's 30 days in your system.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I believed you, and I was just like, all right, fine, I'll do it.
I would have told you anything anyway.
Yeah, because you just, I don't know what. There's something about. Was it me specifically, or because I was so against it?
I don't know if it was.
Or because you just wanted to corrupt.
I think it was a little of all of those. I think I wanted more people to smoke pot with, specifically, you guys. And I think also the idea that I can manipulate someone to do it, especially that was resistant to it, was a little bit of a power trip.
But I smoked with you.
Before that?
I think so.
We definitely smoked pot together for a while. I don't know when that started, though.
I'm not too familiar.
Yeah. And then you stopped for years after.
I did. Well, I stopped... Okay. We were smoking together, and then I dated Michelle. And she didn't like that.
So that had to stop.
So you laid down the law and say, I'm going to do what I want.
I remember specifically that you were the guy that would put like the little bit of stuff in the front of a cigarette.
Yeah.
And I was like...
PCP?
What? No, weed. Like pot, man.
Bit of pot in the front of a cigarette?
Yeah, you take a little...
the front of the cigarette and put a little bit of pot in there.
Yeah.
It never worked well because little tip for you smokers out there, the marijuana plant burns slower than cigarette paper. Right. So you're going to lose a lot of your green because it's not going to burn quickly enough to burn away with the cigarette paper.
I think we should teach people.
When we get to heroin, I have a lot of tips.
Yeah, we've got it. Fuck train spotting. Listen to this tutorial.
I'm going to really...
I have a lot of tips for your heroin users out there. Up and comers. Really get you on the right track.
Wealth of information here. So.
But yeah, I still remember one of the scariest moments for me ever was when we were smoking together. We were in your room, and you were rolling a joint. At your computer desk, I was sitting next to you. And then you remembered something. You had to go do something. I think it was take down the garbage or something like that. So you got up and you ran out and you bolted.
The quirks of childhood.
You got up and you bolted and you left the weed and the rolling paper open on your desk. And I'm just sitting there and I don't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to roll. And then all of a sudden, your pops busts into the room, and he's like, "Do you know where David is?" And I'm just sitting there looking up at him, and I go, "I think he went to put out the garbage." And he's like, "Okay," and then he just closes the door. And he never acknowledges for the fact that 2 feet away from my face
it's the weed.
Is the weed. It probably stung.
He probably didn't see it.
He didn't see it.
He didn't see it.
There's no way he saw it.
He didn't notice it.
If he noticed, it would have been shut down immediately.
Yeah, absolutely. He was not okay with it.
Oh, yeah. So I just...
Especially at this age. Like, we're talking 15, 16-year-old.
If I had been a normal guy and, at 16, 17, I started smoking pot a little bit, they would have been cool. But it was clear I was not...
Yeah, you got baby boomer parents who like to get down.
Right. And not at that point, but...
Yeah.
Now, of course, big time. But, but yeah, they would have been cool with it. But no, he just didn't notice. But it's funny. Yeah. It's funny. I just think you wrap me out right away. The pot's there.
It's right. Oh my god, it's here. It's not mine.
Where's David? It's right there.
He's holding it for a friend. Oh no, not the friend though.
I gotta go.
You jump out of the 2-story window.
I just took your keyboard from your little drawer
and covered it,
and I just put it on top.
I remember that. And I think I came back in and he told me about it, and I was like, whatever.
Yeah, you were like, whatever.
Yes, you were always so confident.
I was.
What's going to happen if they catch me?
For a person who was always caught.
Always. Yeah.
You were so confident in your ability to not get caught.
Right.
But it has never been proven correct. No. That inkling has never been proven true.
No, I have not had good success getting away with it.
You have always pushed to the point that you get caught.
Yeah. Pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I don't go long without getting caught. And I mean, the last time, I was using, I got caught, and we're talking matter of days.
Yeah.
Matter of days.
Yeah.
Because you go straight to 90.
Yeah.
Whatever
no
it
in between.
So now this is where you're going to have to fill in the gaps, because I don't remember what the transition was.
Mm-hmm.
But some point from 16 to 17, or maybe even still 15 to 16, you graduated.
16 to 17.
Okay.
So I remember
you graduated in your drug usage.
Yeah.
Is what I'm going for here. Not literally.
No, not literally.
Because you didn't graduate early. You weren't a baby genius or something.
Some sort of genius. Quite the opposite.
But if you don't mind, do you feel comfortable saying?
Sure, yeah. So am I going into the summer before senior year? This is when my real drug use starts. I had some legal trouble that was pretty serious. For stupid shit that I don't think I had the emotional maturity to understand
why you were doing something wrong.
Yeah.
So an example of it would be one of the things that you almost got busted for was stealing pitchers of beer from a local bowling alley.
Right.
The bowling alley had a bar. The bar had a back door. You and a friend that was a terrible influence on you would sneak into the back of the bar and fill up pitchers of beer and run down the block and drink the pitchers and stuff.
Yeah, we'd sneak out the back and do that.
So you do a lot of things of that nature,
right?
That we're not gonna dive fully in.
No, I'm not gonna say exactly what the shit was, but it got worse, and we did 2 separate things that ended up causing a lot of trouble for us, and in actuality, we didn't
No one was actually hurt.
No one was hurt. We didn't actually steal anything of any value. I mean, other than minor.
And you did end up getting caught, and
everything was returned. And,
yeah, exactly.
Which was basically alcohol.
Justice was served.
So that stuff that was going on for a long time, basically throughout my high school career. But going into the summer before senior year, I started hanging out with those other kids again, who are a little bit more. They were
the cooler kids in our grade, but they were the cool kids who did drugs. Everyone knew that they smoked pot.
Yeah.
Everyone knew that they sometimes did a little bit more than pot.
Oh. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
So I started doing coke with these new guys that I'm hanging out with, and that goes downhill real quick.
Do you remember the first time you did it? Do you remember the first time you were at a party or in somebody's car? And
you want to hear how pathetic this is? All right. So this is the first time I did it. So I hear about people doing it at school. This kid I'm sort of friends with, who's way cooler than I am, but real dirtbag. This is Joe.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not really friends with him. I'm more kind of ancillary friends, I guess. And so he gets coke, and I ask him to give me some. I pay him for it, and So right after high school, we go straight across the street to Target or something, and we go in the bathroom, and we do like the tiniest little bump in the bathroom right after school, and then that was it, and that was the first time.
Do you remember feeling
nothing? Of course not.
Nothing.
I mean, it was like you're talking about like $5 worth of Coke, or less.
Do you remember where he got it from?
No. Yes. So we start doing that. You know, I do it. I do it pretty. It doesn't take long for me to start doing it excessively. I mean, I'm spending a lot of money, stealing money to do it.
Okay, so wait, we gotta backtrack a little bit. When that's the first time you tried it. Do you remember how you felt like before you did it? Like, holy shit, here we go, or was it like, well, let's see what this is?
I never had that feeling before using a new higher level of drug. It's always been matter of fact.
It's always been all right.
There's nothing, and same getting arrested. Anytime anything's horrible happen to me,
you're very good at surrendering yourself to the situation.
I just go numb very easily, and I stay flat affect essentially.
What is God? That's got to be really creepy for the cop.
It's really like, and this is just an observation I had, and I hope you don't take any offense to it. It's just what I feel like. There's always there's two sides, and when you're in the moment and you see like that bump or that pill or something like that, and you take it, you instantly know, yes, what I've done is good, but more. I mean, why not? And then you just do as much as you can, and then when the ramifications come, that's when that sort of that addict side that goes away, and the logical, rational person comes out, and he's like, well, what did I think was going to happen?
Oh, of course, absolutely, yeah.
What was I thinking? Of course,
yeah.
I do all of that, and then this is the logical conclusion.
Especially then, I mean, you know, at that point, I think I could still rationalize. Like, I could maybe do this, and I'll be all right. Then the ramifications come, and then it's like unrealization. Of course, that was going to happen. But now, and more recently, it's just, when I do it, I know this is, like, I'm probably going to be homeless, or go to jail, or go to rehab, or something. It's just like I'm accepting that choice, and that's where I'm going to end up, and that's fine. You know,
I mean, not now.
It's not now. I'll
get foregone conclusion. Like, I'll get a few weeks, a few months, maybe, and it'll be fun, and then my life will be over, and you know. But it'll be a lot of fun in the meantime. So, you know, screw it. I'll do it anyway.
So the question I was gonna ask was, do you remember the first time doing it and feeling it?
Yeah.
And knowing this is for me, because you felt that way very strongly.
I don't remember the specific time, but I remember pretty much any time in that, like, 6-week period where I did it, and it was just incredible, and it was just, I mean, it felt so good. And, you know, what sticks out to me, though, is, like, the levels I would go, like, the crushing depression I would have afterwards.
Well, that is one of the...
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. And, you know, especially then, I didn't have anything to come down with. So, I mean, I'm just experiencing it after doing, like, an 8-ball. I'm just fucking coming down and sitting in my bed, not doing anything except sitting there feeling horrible, horrible depression. And, you know, unsurprisingly from there, I would go to incredible lengths to get more. And you hit a point with Coke where you can't really do more. I mean, you keep doing it, you don't really feel it, your nose is completely clogged, you're literally bleeding out of your nose is so clogged nothing goes in it. You know, it's horrible.
Still to this day with nasal problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have sinus problems to this day, absolutely. I don't know if it's from that, but I'm sure it didn't help.
All right, so let's take a break there.
Yeah.
And as always, here on MADcast, fuck our president.
I'm sure everybody in high school now does Molly off of their fucking binders.
Yeah.
Like the first day of 9th grade. I'm pretty sure that's what you do.
That's orientation.
You just show up on Molly with a pacifier in your mouth. And then you start doing some other drugs that I'm unaware of because I'm old. But they're probably in pill form. Yeah. They're probably in pill form. And That's
all
just
these
totally
drugs.
normal for every single person.
A lot of people do what's called like spice. I think you're probably aware. Just like fake weed.
Oh, that's K2 or something like that?
Yeah, K2, spice, which...
synthetic marijuana, which killed Aaron Hernandez.
It's like terrible shit that like fucks you up. And it makes you feel really shitty. I never did it, but I knew people who were in rehab for it, and we laughed at them for it.
Because it's a lower graded drug.
Yeah, because they're in there with junkies, and these guys are going down to 7-Eleven and buying fake weed. Pussy. But anyway.